Deep in the heart of Ogutta, a mysterious priest arrives to heal a village plagued by a deadly sickness. His miracles bring hope, but hidden beneath his powers lies a dark secret that could destroy everyone. Betrayal, greed, and supernatural forces collide in this chilling African folktale. Join us as we unravel the horror and mystery of the dark secret of Ogutta, a story of survival, deception, and the consequences of bargaining with powers beyond human understanding. Perfect for fans of dark folklore, supernatural horror, and emotional storytelling. Watch, listen, and let the story haunt you. Don't forget to subscribe for more African folktales and chilling stories every week, and hit the like button. They say every village has two histories, the one told by elders under the moonlight, and the one whispered by the dead beneath the soil. This story belongs to the second. Long before fear learned to walk upright, there stood a village called Ogutta, cradled between a dying forest and a river that no longer remembered its source. Ogutta was not rich, but it was alive. Children ran barefoot through red dust. Women laughed as they pounded yam. Men argued loudly in the square and made peace just as loudly before nightfall. The gods were respected, the ancestors remembered, and the earth, though stubborn, still yielded food. Then the sickness came. It began quietly, the way curses always do. A cough here, a fever there. At first, people said it was the harmattan wind, or bad water, or the anger of a forgotten ancestor. But soon the sickness learned names. It chose victims carefully. Strong men collapsed while farming. New brides woke up vomiting black bile. Children cried themselves hoarse, their eyes sinking deep into their skulls as if something was pulling them inward. Worst of all, the sickness did not kill quickly. It waited. It hollowed people out slowly, leaving them alive just long enough to feel abandoned. The village priest at the time, old frail Okori, burned herbs until the shrine choked with smoke. He sacrificed goats, chickens, even a cow donated by desperate families. Nothing worked. One night, Okori himself fell ill, foam bubbling from his mouth as he screamed that the ancestors had turned their faces away. By morning, he was dead. Ogutta entered a season without hope. Funerals became weekly gatherings. Drums no longer sounded like celebration, but like warnings. The marketplace emptied. Even the river grew quiet, as though it did not wish to witness what was happening. That was when priest Ezenwa arrived. No one remembered seeing him enter the village. People only remembered the moment they first noticed him standing in the square, tall and composed, his skin marked with faint ritual scars that glowed softly in firelight. His eyes were calm, too calm for a man walking into a dying village. He wore no fear, only confidence. He said he had been sent by the spirits of the old forest. Desperate people do not question miracles when they arrive well-dressed. Ezenwa wasted no time. On his first night, he asked to see the sickest person in the village. They brought him Nena, a woman so thin her bones pressed painfully against her skin. She had not spoken in days. Her family watched as Ezenwa knelt, placed his palm on her chest, and began to chant in a language no one recognized. The air grew heavy. Candles flickered without wind. Nena screamed, a sound so sharp people stepped back in fear, then fell silent. By morning, she was sitting up. By evening, she was walking. By the next day, she was laughing. Hope returned to Ogutta like a flood breaking a dam. One by one, the sick were brought to Ezenwa. One by one, they healed. The priest did not ask for payment at first. He said healing was the duty of one chosen by the spirits. People bowed when he passed. Mothers pressed their children's heads to the ground before him. Chiefs consulted him before making decisions. But healing always has a price. Sometimes the bill comes later. Strange rules began to appear. Ezenwa declared that certain areas of the forest were now forbidden. He locked the old shrine of the ancestors and said the spirits demanded silence. He asked that every healed family bring a token of gratitude. Goats, palm wine, cowries, land. No one complained. After all, he had saved them, except Obina. Obina was the village blacksmith, a man with fire-scarred hands and eyes sharpened by grief. The sickness had taken his wife before Ezenwa arrived. He watched the priest carefully, noticing things others ignored. How Ezenwa never healed in daylight, how the strongest healings happened during the new moon, how some healed villagers began having the same dreams. dreams of being called by name into the forest at night. Then people started disappearing. At first it was travelers, then a widow, then a child. Ezenwa said the forest spirits were angry and taking offerings themselves. Fear returned, but now it wore obedience like a mask. Greed crept in next. The village council began to profit from Ezenwa's presence. They collected offerings on his behalf and kept a portion. They silenced questions. They threatened Ogutta when he spoke too loudly. The priest was their shield. Without him, the sickness might return. Or worse, they might be exposed. But the sickness did return. This time it did not choose randomly. It targeted those closest to Ezenwa, his assistants, his guards, the very council that protected him. Ezenwa's calm began to crack. On the night the truth surfaced, the moon was red, and the forest screamed. Ogutta followed Ezenwa into the forbidden shrine, where the air stank of blood and old decay. There, beneath the carved altar, he found the bones. Not animal bones, human ones. Children's bones. The missing villagers. Ezenwa had not been healing people. He had been trading them. The sickness was not a curse. It was a debt. Ezenwa had bargained with an ancient, hungry spirit that lived beneath the forest. For every life he healed, another had to be fed. And when offerings grew scarce, the spirit took its payment directly. Confronted, Ezenwa did not beg. He laughed. He said the village deserved it, that they were greedy, cowardly, willing to sacrifice anyone as long as they survived, that he was only the hand, they were the knife. By dawn, the truth spread like wildfire. The council tried to flee. The villagers turned on one another. Betrayals surfaced. Secrets screamed into the open. And when they dragged Ezenwa into the square, the forest answered. The ground split. The spirit rose. And it did not take the priest alone. Ogutta was never rebuilt. Today, the forest stands thicker there, darker. And they say if you listen closely, you can hear a calm voice still chanting, trying to bargain its way out of damnation.